Well, let's see if I got my internet back. And now the sun's down, so I had to get a jacket. It's cool. It really drops. Once the sun goes down here, you lose at least 10 degrees. And, well, anyway, getting back to where I left off, I believe we were talking about the houseless situation in California. And the governor there, he's been very proactive and very been doing a lot for the for that problem. But for some reason, it's costing $350,000 per unit, whether it's a single family, a one-person studio apartment, or a four-bedroom studio apartment or apartment. And after reading that article, and it's been covered by different news sources as well, news media outlets. But just think what you could build in the private sector for $350,000. These people, you could put a family of four. You could build them a single-family home with a built-in in-ground swimming pool in the backyard, with an attached garage, for that amount of money. So that's one of the many issues that we have going on a regular basis. And I'm not picking on the governor of California in any way. I think, I applaud his efforts so far. And I think the numbers that are being spent per unit in a lot of ways are occurring outside of his, within a different department of his. I don't know how that's operating out there, but they're not unique. The same thing happened with HUD in the 60s with the townhouse program, the cooperative program. It happens over and over and over again. When it comes to, the only way we're going to get rid of this houseless problem is if it's being overseen by organizations that operate like the private sector. Just like the private sector, for that same $350,000 being spent on a unit in California, that same amount of money in the private sector would produce a single-family home with a built-in swimming pool, plus swing sets, attached garage, and a slew of other amenities. But that's just one area. And this is nothing new. This is why we're responsible for this problem. Because I remember years ago that there was a big scandal about how our military was spending $500 on a toilet seat and a few $100s on a hammer. And this went, well, they didn't use the term viral back then, but it would be the equivalent of today's viral. It was common discussion. People were amazed. Who would you go to Home Depot and spend $500 on a toilet seat? Of course not. I don't even think there's a toilet seat, unless it's lined in gold plated, anywhere for $500. Whether it's Home Depot, Lowe's, or any of the upscale furnishing places. I don't think you'd ever spend $500 on a toilet seat, but our federal government did. And and this happens over and over and over again. And then people are arguing about on both sides of this imaginary aisle about fiscal responsibility. If that isn't an oxymoron, I don't know what is. Those people actually debating what's considered fiscally responsible. They know exactly what the term means. I'm not going to even try to excuse them. They know what being fiscally responsibly means, but they they definitely do not exercise it. Not like you or I have to. We we have to look at our budgets very closely, and and we have to, in some cases, plan day to day. In other cases, plan week to week. Some of us, I guess, are lucky enough to maybe even stretch it out to plan month to month. But that's all. I just hope you tune into, and these are all things that I want to talk about and discuss with you over during the podcast. You know, we could have podcast after podcast after podcast over these various different topics, whether it's dealing with homelessness or crime or or golden retrievers that don't listen. Stay right there. There's a lot of topics that we can cover that I suspect we'll find a lot of common ground on, and there isn't a. We're late. This should have been going on a long time ago, but we're late in the game. We've let the beast get so big that it's just going to create much more of a challenge than it ever had to be. But that's where we're at, and that's what we got to deal with. Then I just hope that you get involved. I could use the help. You know, the bigger the team, the better. It's something that is certainly important to me, and it should be as equally as important to you. And we need to discuss it and then act on it. You know, there's a lot of groups out there that like to talk about stuff. You know, like I said earlier in the earlier version of this video. You know, you can go to TikTok. Well, maybe I didn't. Maybe I was talking to the young lady about the logo. Yeah, we mentioned that. You can go to TikTok and spend hours, you know, just scrolling from video to video to video of people talking about it. But there comes a point where, you know, discussion will always be relevant, but you got to start doing. You got to start taking some action, because the talking, well, that produces no meaningful results. You know, we need to be active in pursuing, you know, in my opinion, and what I'm working on is litigation. You know, I'll post on the website documents that I can download, federal cases that I was involved in, just so you can see some of the cases I was previously involved in, and then I'm going to order records from the litigation involving the Detroit case, as well as the Freedom Hill case in Cont County. I'll have those available, so that way you have a general idea of my background, and I'll put some other stuff up there that I wouldn't be too proud of, but it's just to keep everything transparent, keep everything where the light is shining. It's important to do so. And other than the archives of previous podcasts on that website, you'll find a lot of other informational links that will help you stay better engaged or become better informed about issues. Because there's so many that we need to discuss about, topics that we need to cover in these podcasts as we go through this journey of litigation. You know, it's very important that we act now, because the longer we wait, the worse it's going to get. It's sort of like, and it's going to get worse faster. It's sort of like taking a bowling ball and positioning it at the top of an on-ramp. And as that ball travels down the on-ramp onto the freeway, the ball picks up speed. And that's where we're at with the chaos that's going on now. It's rolling down that ramp, and it's just going to continue to accelerate, and it's going to accelerate at a faster speed. So the longer we wait, the more of a challenge it becomes. So I really hope you stay tuned. I hope you subscribe to newsletters. I hope you visit the website that you'll find somewhere a link to, the Nonconformist Podcast website. And there's also a donation button there now that is operational. So I don't have that site done yet, but every little bit helps. Whether you can help financially or you can help with your volunteer, time, office supplies, or if you have a legal background and you want to participate in research, those are all things that would be highly welcome. So again, I implore you to give this a lot of thought, pay attention, and get engaged, and learn how to be the best nonconformist you can be. And with that said, I'm going to close this video. Wish you all a blessed night, and well, I'll be in touch soon.